to visit. Still, it's not all insane rumors, sometimes hearing the truth is even more insane. Here are 10 ridiculous facts about North Korea. 10. State-approved haircuts. There are only 28 state-approved haircuts in North Korea. For women there are various styles to choose from, but married women are instructed to keep their hair short. Single women may have their hair longer or even slightly curled. For men, they cannot grow their hair longer than 5 centimeters in length, but can be shorter than 2 centimeters. Older men may have their hair up to 7 centimeters long providing that it falls under one of the approved styles. Leader Kim Jong-Un is exempt from this rule, however, having a Hari style that is not on the current list of approved haircuts. 9. Unexpected costs. In most of the world, students take things like desks for granted since they are typically provided by the schools. In North Korea, families must pay for everything from the desk and chairs to heating fuel for winter months and building materials to maintain the schoolhouse. Students are often put to work in order to pay for their educations. The work can be harsh. However, so many families may try to bribe teachers into excluding their children from the activities. 8. Pulgasari. Back in the late 1970s, North Korea's Kim Jong-il had intelligence officers kidnap a South Korean director in order to create his own version of Godzilla. Shin Sang-ok and his wife Choi Eun-hee, who was an actress, were held in captivity from 1978 to 1986. While Sang-ok was forced to create Pulgasari along with at least 6 other films. The director and his wife were fortunately able to escape after surviving for years in their fans' employ. 7. Limited channels. All media, from newspapers to radio and television, are controlled by the government and used to distribute propaganda. Newscasters are not allowed to talk about the hardships their citizens go through or the fact that much of the population lives in poverty. They are only allowed to praise their leader and talk about how great North Korea is. There are only 3 available channels in North Korea and all televisions and radios must be checked and registered with police to ensure they are being used correctly and are not able to receive outside transmissions. 6. Fake village. On the border of the North Korean half of the demilitarized zone there is a picturesque village known as Kyeongdong, the Peace Village. However, in the rest of the world it's known by a different name. The propaganda village was built by North Korea as a ploy to lure South Koreans to their country with beautifully painted dwellings. North Korea claims that the village can support roughly 200 families, provides childcare, schools and hospitals, but it has been uninhabited since it was built in the 1950s. When inspected through modern telescopic lenses it is clear that the windows have no glass and the lights are all on timers to give the illusion of a functioning village. 5. Swedes black market. Since the devastating famine in the 1990s that killed over 1 million people in North Korea, food production has suffered. Luxuries such as sweets, pizza, hamburgers and fries have even been banned from the country. So in a South Korean factory that employs 50,000 North Korean laborers provided their product in the employees' lunches or in lieu of cash bonuses, they went mad over them. Choco pies are a snack cake with 2 round layers of cake marshmallow filling and chocolate shell. Employees who only make around $100 a month but sometimes bring the trip home for their families or resell them on the black market for $10 a piece. When a crackdown was brought about by the North Korean government to stop the sales of the snacks, they were a symbol of capitalism. South Korea began sending balloons filled with choco pies over the border. 4. Self-made fertilizer. Once upon a time the Soviet Union providing North Korea with fertilizer to aid in their farming sins. They were situated mostly on mountainous ranges in unfavorable ground. When the Union fell, their farms began to suffer. Following the famine in the 1990s, South Korea began shipping rice and fertilizer to aid in their recovery, but in 2008, they cut off their supply as well. Struggling to keep their crops afloat, they began using a differenter and more readily available type of fertilizer. Human waste. The need for fertilizer became so great that human feces are seen as a commodity, and shops have opened up to keep up with demand. 3. Different year. In North Korea they do not use the Gregorian calendar like most of the world. Instead they use Kim Il-sung's date of birth, referring to it as the Juche calendar. So instead of it being 2017 like much of the world, it's only the year 105 for them. April 15, 1912 is used as Yushi 1 and continues on. From there they use the same number of days per month and days per year as the Gregorian calendar as well. The Juche calendar was first introduced to North Korea in September 1997. They also have their own time zone known as Pyongyang time. 2. Elite city. Pyongyang is the capital city of North Korea with a population of nearly 3 million people. However, it's not open to everyone. Considered to be utopia, Pyongyang is only the elite, healthy and wealthy citizens and high-ranking military personnel. Armed guards patrol the borders to keep the lower class and unworthy from entering the city. Within the city, people live a life of luxury, meaning they have a little more food than everyone else and have electricity for a few hours a day. Most homes outside the city are not connected to the electrical grid at all. In the winter the power often goes completely, leaving even those living within the city in the dark and fending off the bitter cold. 1. Punished for not being sad. After the death of their great leader Kim Jong-il in 2012, the entire country was devastated. Soldiers, workers, children and the elderly sobbed and cried when his death was announced and his body was placed alongside his father as the eternal leaders. The country declared a state of mourning lasting 100 days, and there were consequences for citizens that didn't participate. Anyone that didn't cry, didn't appear sad enough, appear to be faking their sadness, or criticized their new leader Kim Jong-un, the youngest son of Kim Jong-il's, were sentenced to 6 months. Were sentenced to 6 months or more in labor camps. Thank you for tracking BnTV.